that's all I had to say about the food.
Okay. So you said also you wanted to talk about emotions. Like, did you mean emotional health, like mental health at this time?
Well, basically, from a Chinese medical standpoint, what the lungs, represent, and also to let people know that it's normal to have certain feelings and that it's actually good to cry, because crying is also the sound of the lungs. Feeling whatever grief is okay.
Right.
It's good to be positive, but there's such a thing called toxic positivity, which leads to repression. And again, like we're talking about at the very beginning with that liver, with the movement needing the free flow, repression causes stagnation, and in the end, it's not healthy. So, we it's weird. We need to strike this balance between being super duper happy and kind of positive, but not really meaning it, versus being completely depressed and in a catatonic state,
Right.
and not able to move. So, and I think a lot of people, I know I've been sort of like oscillating through, and then, kind of just to give people a permission to feel the grief, to feel the loss of, losing mitzvos, losing opportunities, losing money, there is a lot of loss happening. And obviously there's so much gain, and there's so many wonderful things coming out of this. And we spoke about just a few of them, and you can see tons of wonderful things, but it doesn't really cancel out any of the sadness. Right. So the lungs have a lot to do with grief. Also respect. On the other side of the spectrum, there's grief, and then there's respect. And the lungs are considered the most holy organs in our body because it's the highest to the heaven. And they're filters. They're part of what's called the metal element. And metal can be purified through fire. But somebody who has a lot of metal energy, or very metal person, they kind of strive to perfection. They want to be as good as they can. And the lungs, they bring in the pure, and they bring out the impure. And when we're dealing with a disease that can no longer release the impure, we want to sort of, give that respect and acknowledge that this is a great filter. And like, even though, we might be losing things that were toxic.
Right.
So it's okay to mourn those things, mourn them, let them go, and acknowledge them. Basically, don't repress. Whatever tears come, whatever feelings come, allow it to come, because your lungs are such a great filter. And they're actually connected to the large intestine. So if you imagine that, the lungs bring in the clear, air from Hashem, and then our large intestine sort of pushes out anything impure. It's a good process. It's a normal process. Good comes in, bad comes out, and it's always a balance. The pendulum will always go the other way.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I wanted to say. It's okay to cry. It's okay to grieve, and
Our mental health at this time is probably one of the key factors to get through everything, that whatever challenges that anyone out there is dealing with. And I totally agree with you. Like, acknowledgement of where you're feeling. Like, people phone me and they say, "How are you doing?" I'm like, well, you know what? It's like 1 hour I'm great, and 1 hour I'm not great, and it's okay. It's understandable. But understanding that and not trying to push it under the carpet is a big key. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but somebody said to me, "Why are you getting up every morning really early and doing exercise classes?" But I mentally need it. Like, I feel so much better. I start my day off fresh, and I do it before my kids come down. It's my time. and I get to help other women in the process. But, you know, I get a lot out of it myself. So by the time my kids come downstairs, you know, I can start the day fresh and with energy. And it does amazing things, exercise, for your mental health. So, you know, whether it's, if you've got a machine at home, a walking machine or an elliptical, great. But if not, you can skip, you can do jumping jacks, you could come to one of my online classes, you can do Esther's exercises that she did before. Whatever it is, like there's always something for somebody. You just have to find what makes your what makes you tick. There's loads of online dance classes also. There's lots of people doing online Zumba and things like that. So check out Facebook, and I can also send over some suggestions if you don't have Facebook. So yeah, I think staying mentally strong is what's needed, and doing that through exercise. Also, sleeping is really important, right? We have to get lots of sleep, and try to keep a regular schedule in terms of going to sleep. It's very hard because the days are just rolling one into the other, into the other, into the other. And I know with PSEC cleaning also, but waking up because you've slept well and you've had like 7 to 8 hours sleep does wonders for your day. So it starts the day off right.
And also take naps if you feel like you need it.
Very true. We're not going anywhere. It's taken.
Take nap.
Very true. Rest is also good. So yeah, I think we've covered some great stuff. We've covered acupressure and exercise and diet and emotions. We've covered some great stuff there. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything else that you feel is important that might benefit people?
So one emotion that we didn't touch on is the fear, which is sort of hanging over there. You know, just like it's okay to feel the grief, it's okay to feel the fear, but don't get enveloped in it, because that is a far more slippery slope than the grief, because the fear can cripple the kidneys, which is really keeping you alive, and a really big filter. So I've seen some tremendous damage already from people just fueled by panic and fear, and that if that's something that is worrisome. So don't panic, don't fear.
Right. And if there's a big
I know it's easier said than done, but if you're afraid of the virus, you should also be afraid of whatever actions fear might make you do. And again, what you said, working emotional, there's so many different books and methods, and it's a really good time to examine any limiting beliefs and to look at the root of your reactions. And like I know what triggers me, and it does. And then first time I kind of slipped, and then the second time I said, no, I know this is my trigger, I know this is what gets me, this is my button. And that awareness really, really helps. So
it's a great time for introspection.
When anyone gets stuck in sort of this panic, so if someone's like stuck in a panic spiral, it's really important to reach out and brainstorm with somebody else, or journal, or try to get to the root of it, because I would say that the panic and the fear is probably more dangerous than anything else.
It's very true. It's very true. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, well, we covered a lot of things.
Thank you so much, Samantha. This is great.